Ferrari ousts Xavi Marcos, replacing him with Brian Bozzi. The news that arrived yesterday evening is not of little importance. In reality, it holds great significance within the Scuderia Ferrari team, and it was a very unexpected move. Another step in the deep reorganization of the Ferrari sports management, wisely and fearlessly led by team principal Vasseur, since he took charge of the Ferrari racing department. Through a cold statement released late on Thursday afternoon on the official social media channels of the Maranello team, the handover between the two was announced. Xavi Marcos, track engineer for Charles Leclerc since the Monegasque driver joined the Italian side back in 2019, has been reassigned to other duties within the new organizational structure of the historic Italian team. Another member of Mattia Binotto's inner circle, therefore, has been relieved from his duties. Despite the excellent relationship between the Spanish technician and the Monegasque driver, the professional collaboration between the engineer and Charles Leclerc was often marked by communication flaws and, more broadly, by a clear lack of empathy. Likely, Xavi Marcos is paying for the many strategic errors made by the Scuderia Ferrari pit wall over the past years, which he himself partly suffered through the less than impeccable work of the remote garage and track operations. It is indeed unusual for such an important figure for a driver to be relieved from their role after just a few Grand Prix into the season, but such things also happen at Ferrari. This decision is undoubtedly sudden, a decision that no one would have bet on until yesterday. The measure in question might also be the result of a mutual desire to end a collaboration that has brought more pain than joy in recent years. In a matter of minutes, there was much speculation about the possible replacement for Xavi Marcos. However, a new statement from Scuderia Ferrari quickly put an end to any imaginative speculation by clarifying the future developments shortly. Just 14 minutes after the Ferrari statement about Xavi Marcos, the Italian team announced that the current performance engineer for the Monegasque driver, Brian Bozzi, will become Charles Leclerc's new track engineer starting from the next round of the 2024 Formula One Championship, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, which will take place at the Imola circuit. Brian Bozzi has a degree in aerospace engineering, having earned his credentials from the prestigious University of Bath, one of the most important in the United Kingdom. The Italian began his Formula One career at the Prancing Horse as a wind tunnel research and development engineer, taking on increasingly important roles within the Italian organization. Brian Bozzi has been working in Maranello for 12 years now. He entered the doors of the Prancing Horse in June 2012 as a wind tunnel and research and development engineer, then changed roles in 2014, becoming an aero track group engineer, and then, since November 2018, he has been Charles Leclerc's performance engineer. After 6 years in this role, Brian Bozzi has therefore been tasked with taking over Xavi Marcos' position as the track engineer for the Monegasque driver, while the Spaniard is being moved to work on other important company programs, according to the statement published by the Maranello team yesterday evening. Shortly after the official announcement, Charles Leclerc expressed his gratitude towards his former track engineer on social media, thanking Xavi for their years of collaboration. Charles Leclerc acknowledged the significant moments they shared, including his first pole position, victory, and debut season at Ferrari. He appreciated the Spanish engineer's constant support and encouragement, which always pushed him to perform at his best, regardless of the circumstances, according to the Monegasque. Charles Leclerc wished Xavi luck in his future endeavors. The message, although brief, conveyed deep appreciation. Their partnership was marked by various experiences, including challenges and amusing team radio exchanges, which fans clearly remember. The ever-smiling Vasseur, team principal of the Scuderia, probably felt that the freshness of a new recruit could maximize the race weekends of car number 16. What is surprising is the timing of the decision. It can be presumed that Xavi Marcos was on borrowed time, allowing him to play his final cards in the first quarter of the current Formula One season. It will be very interesting, in this respect, to see how quickly the correct communication with Charles Leclerc is established and how swiftly he learns his new duties. We are talking about a crucial factor, especially since this is a promotion in the middle of the competitive championship. Brian Bozzi will need to prove that he is up to the trust placed in him by the head of the Ferrari racing department, and consequently the critical nature of his role that he will assume at the Italian side's home circuit, the beautiful track along the banks of the Santerno River in Emilia-Romagna. Despite the fact that Brian Bozzi has never held this role before, he possesses all the characteristics to perform his duties without problems, as he has been in close communication with the Monegasque driver every weekend for several years. All of Charles Leclerc's 5 Grand Prix victories, 23 pole positions, and 33 podium finishes in his F1 career have been achieved at Ferrari alongside Marcos Padros. The pair worked together for the final time in last weekend's Miami Grand Prix, where Charles Leclerc finished on the podium in 3rd place. They have experienced some frustrations during their time together, notably during the 2022 Formula One season, where the Monegasque lost his early lead in the championship through a combination of power unit unreliability and errors, including tactical mistakes from the Maranello pit wall. Charles Leclerc was especially infuriated by confusion over a pit stop during that year's Monaco Grand Prix, his home race, which cost him the lead and led to him finishing outside of the top 3, losing other valuable points in his championship battle against Max Verstappen. This change has been loudly called for by many Ferrari fans over the last few years, as the Tifosi were tired of the misunderstandings between Xavi Marcos and Charles Leclerc heard over the radio, and held the Ferrari race engineer responsible for several setbacks suffered by the Monegasque driver. Undoubtedly, the Spaniard will not go down in history as the best Formula One track engineer, but on many occasions the faults of others have been attributed to Marcos, a scapegoat who has been convenient under certain circumstances. In a climate of renewal, the move can undoubtedly be seen in a positive light, as the close relationship between a track engineer goes well beyond team radio messages. Marcos has worked alongside the Monegasque driver for 5 years. Despite the good relationship between the two, he has often been criticized externally for some communication errors. But it is also true that such a change suggests a clear need to improve certain aspects on Charles Leclerc's side of the garage. Therefore, at the Imola circuit, there will be a new pairing that Ferrari hopes will perform better than the one which concluded its work last weekend in the Miami Grand Prix. Ferrari is therefore implementing key upgrades and staff changes ahead of Formula One's 7th round of the 2024 championship, hosted in their home country next weekend. Additionally, the team have recently completed an FIA-organized test in Fiorano to trial a new wet weather solution. The latest test was conducted at the Fiorano circuit, where Arthur Leclerc tried out 2 specifications of a redeveloped wheel guard, whilst Oliver Behrman ran behind to check the levels of visibility. The amount of spray produced by F1 cars has long been an issue for the series, with drivers complaining about a lack of visibility and races being disrupted by heavy wet weather in recent years, such as the 2021 Belgian Grand Prix. More importantly for the Italian side, the upcoming Imola aerodynamic upgrade package for the SF24 single-seater includes new inlets in the body and a completely new floor. These changes should bring aerodynamic efficiency, and the macro components for load and efficiency should gain 3/10. The 2.0 version of the SF24 will be closer to the Red Bull RB20 in certain key design features.